So in today's video, we're going to be covering a full make.com tutorial, and this is going to be an email sequence that is going to allow us to take a set of data, create custom AI emails based on prompts, and have the full flexibility that a lot of these other email platforms that already include the AI automations don't provide. Spit it out into Instantly, where we can constantly switch out new email addresses that are already warmed up and pretty much create this thing from scratch. So guys, I'm bringing you in to the software of make.com. I just kind of laid out the basics, pulling some of this information from another model that I had recently built. And yeah, we're just going to go through it together. And I'm actually doing this for one of my clients, or my who runs a video agency. And yeah, we're gonna just kind of go through this and demo the whole email process. Okay, so guys, what I did is I started out with a search rows advanced. I'm just gonna make that full screen. Okay, I started out with a full row or a search rows advanced. And you know what this basically means, and what we're essentially doing is we're going to be reading the data that is on this sheet, you know, sending it to ChatGPT AI 01 model, creating an email outreach message, and then again sending it to another AI model where it will additionally create a follow-up second email, and we might even go as far as creating a third email using ChatGPT. Then we're going to we're going to export the data that we're essentially creating from these emails and pushing them into this Google Sheets that we have right here, and then eventually sending it to Instantly into one of our campaigns where we will be able to start this outreach process. And I'm going to go through every step of the way as we're creating this throughout this video. So let's get right into it, and let's start with the first sheet. So guys, right now I have this Google Sheets page over here with a bunch of leads, and I essentially pulled electronic or e-bike leads because this specific client wants us to send outreach messages or do cold outreach to email. They want to cold outreach to e-bike brands. Okay. So with that all being said, what I did is I just went ahead and simply connected it in make.com, and I set it up as just select star, which if you enter this in as the query, and you use search rows advanced, what this will do is pretty much just scan the entire document, which I already went ahead and processed, and it will give you all of these bundles. And these bundles is just going to be the information that's being collected, okay? And it instantly knows that, you know, it's tracking the first name, last name, email, all that sort of stuff based on the actual Google Sheets that I have over here. Where if I can find that is the e-bike leads. The first row, it's just basically scraping that information and using that as the headers in make.com. Okay. So now that we have that done, what we want to do is now export this information into ChatGPT to create us a custom email that we're going to be using in outreach. Okay. So I currently took this from another set that I was doing previously, where it was pretty much the same chain of events in make.com. However, the only main difference is that we were pulling the data not directly from a Google Sheets, but the actual application Apollo itself. But I wanted to be able to do this more massively, pulling, not needing to process searches every single time, and being able to pull this information directly from a Google Sheets, okay? So essentially what I need to do, and this is going to be the text context, and I'm actually going to provide this with you guys down below in the description that you could copy and paste this if you want to use the same thing. But essentially we're saying this, okay? This is a cold email to name. And right now we have the name, but what we're going to do is go ahead and do first name here, okay? This is the first time we're emailing him. We want to reach out / create an email and we're email that is going to grab first name, okay? Attention, that is unique and interesting. I want you to read their website and also their LinkedIn to help create an email for the outreach campaign. We are reaching out to them because we specialize in, sorry for the spelling mistakes. Sometimes I type these things up extremely quickly. So if we really wanted to correct all that, we could literally just jump into ChatGPT, which I actually have right over here. Let me create a new chat. Okay. And we can just say fix spelling and grammar and make a great prompt. So first and foremost, my spelling is absolutely awful, but we have ChatGPT and we have AI, so it doesn't really matter. So now we literally already have the a better cleaned up prompt. And remember that prompts make a huge difference in what we're trying to do here. So don't take the prompts lightly. So I went ahead and exported that in, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did earlier. So we're going to go first name. It's our first time. We're going to grab eights. They say eights, but we're going to put first names. Attention, okay? In a unique and engaging way. Please review their company website, LinkedIn profile, okay? Ask if their current work, videographers, and creative production teams. And then now we have a list of some of their information that we can also pull, because this specific data source has their first name. We can go ahead and look for their title. So this guy looks like he's the founder. We can look for their headline, which let's just say is going to be, let's just say we could put, you know, their seniority. That will work for their keywords. So we might want to look for some of the keywords that were pooled. So this is, I know for sure that we were using electronic bikes and all that sort of stuff. So let's just find, let's find the company or keywords. There should be keywords somewhere. We can go ahead and look for the LinkedIn profile. We want to pull their LinkedIn profile. And then we definitely are going to want their email, their company name, because we definitely want to pull information from their company. That's going to be extremely important. So there we go, the website. So now we literally have inputted their first name, their title, the seniority, the keywords that we kind of use, their personal LinkedIn, and their website. We're going to scroll all the way down, and I went even farther, and I really went far into this prompt. And guys, one thing I've learned with prompts and using ChatGPT is that if you give it examples and you give it an idea of how you want it to be structured, the more information you give it, the better the output you're going to get. So the bigger the input, the bigger the output. So make sure to maybe use a few examples of emails that you want. I would even go into ChatGPT, play around with some examples, get a few emails that you feel comfortable like sending out, making it personal, not sounding like a robot or ChatGPT. Taking those example emails and then saying, make sure to use emails or create emails that are along the lines or similar to these email addresses, and you're going to get a much better output on the emails, okay? So I'm going to save that. And now we have, and also we probably want to go our maximum tokens of 400. Remember that every single time you use an API of ChatGPT, you are going to be spending money. I already connected them, so if you need a tutorial on how to do that, I'm sure you can look it up on YouTube or use ChatGPT to figure out how to connect the accounts and the API keys. But look, we already have it. We're looking pretty good, okay? Now, another thing you're going to want to do after you do this, and again, I'm going to copy and paste the beginning side of here. Remember that you're going to, again, I would put a few in examples, is you're going to want to put something along the lines, okay, in caps of this right here, okay? Make sure not to include the subject, here's a suggestion, or I'm sorry, a suggestion, or a suggested, or the subject. Sorry guys, I'm having trouble reading it like this. Only the email context, as the email is going to be implemented into a system, and whatever you spit out will be the context sent to the client in their mailbox. So the reason we're putting this is just because we don't want them to spit out the subject, or you know how ChatGPT usually says like, oh, here's the correct version. We don't want any of that. We want the exact email address that we're going to be using into Instantly, so we can set it up as a custom variant in Instantly or whatever email platform you guys want to use, so that when we're importing leads, it doesn't have that included. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is add an assistant. And the assistant is just going to re-reference this. We're going to say, please do not include the subject line. Also, do not include custom variables such as name. Here's my contact info. I'm putting my contact info because that way they know my personal information and what I want to be implemented into ChatGPT. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and save that. That's already looking good. Then we're going to go into this one. And this one is going to be the second message. Okay? So I already set this up. This is the second follow-up cold email to this, so they know exactly what is being said, and we're actually even going to import one of the sets. So what you could even do is you could pretty much link this one to the output of this one and say, follow up on this previous email that we sent. I might do that later, but first, let's just go ahead and set it up with first name. Okay, set it up with first name. Okay, come on down here, set it up with first name, the title, just like we did before, but we're pulling it from this Google Sheets that we've used, rather than pulling it from that data. We're going to go into the keywords. Let's look for keywords. We're going to go to their LinkedIn. And last but not least, we're going to go to their website. Okay, that looks good. And just make sure we don't have any other links here. And then, do we have any other links here either? Okay, no, we're good. So now we've just relinked it. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and come on over here and let's save that as well. It might already be saved. Okay, we're good. Okay. So now what we can do, guys, now that we have pulled the information from this Google Sheets and we have now generated 2 new emails, we can export these emails into another Google Sheets. And the reason we might want to do that is because we might want to have this information tracked. Okay, we might want to have these emails in an email platform, so that if we ever needed to do this process over again, or we would want to use another email outreach platform, and we would want these custom emails saved somewhere, we could go ahead and export that to a Google Sheets. I always like to do that to back up my data, because you never know what could happen with Make.com, and it's Make.com doesn't do, in my opinion, a great job of organizing the data in terms of having it in a Google Sheet. So that's why we would want to do it. So I'm going to pull this information, the original information, from the Google Sheets, because it's pretty much just moving the stuff over. Job title, that's fine. Company name, we definitely are going to need that. Or we could just go company. The location is important, which is going to be country. Perfect. The website, which is also very important. The domain, which is pretty much going to be the same thing in this case scenario. Their email address. Their LinkedIn. their Facebook if it has it. It might not have it. So we could just keep that one blank. Their IG, they don't have it. We could go ahead and put their number in here. I'm not seeing their number, so I'm not going to worry about it for this specific one. And then the results looks like it's already pulling this, but I just want to make, yeah. So response 1 is actually pulling from the wrong one. So these are switched. So what we're going to do is come back to here, and we're going to pull as you see that I hover on the result, it will actually indicate which one I'm clicking on. So we're going to just switch those to the correct ones, okay? All right, so that's done. Now, essentially what will happen is every time it pulls a row from this Google Sheet, it will then move into ChatGPT, create a custom email message based on that prompt. Again, you can change those prompts the way that you want it and customize it, then create a second follow-up email, then take all of the information that it pulled from the first row and the first email and the second email, pop it into a Google Sheets. And if you guys want, let me just do this really quickly. Let me pull up a Let me just pull up an example so you guys can see exactly what it will look like, okay? Are we in the right? We're in the wrong one. Okay, so I think it is. Let me just double check. List of leads. This is just going to be list of leads. So let me just go back to Sheets. List of leads. Okay, so here's exactly what it'll essentially do. It'll pretty much just add to this running sheet right here. Okay, so you can see I already have 30 leads here, and it will output the first response and the second response. And we could really go as far as 2 or 3 other responses. I'm not going to do that for the sake of today's video or for this specific automation, but we could do that if that's something that we wanted to do. Okay, so last but not least, we're going to go import this information into Instantly. And I'm actually going to pop open Instantly so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing over here. So within Instantly, they have just released a new feature where you can pull data from, or you can pull emails that are already warmed up. So in the past, you'd have to buy your own domain. You'd have to warm them up. You'd have to wait 20 to 30 days before you even start cold email outreach. But now you can buy pre-warmed up domains, use those domains to outreach to the clients, and then after they respond, it can get forwarded to your main email address, or you can literally come to your Unibox and see your responses. So I did a little test yesterday with the same strategy. I literally emailed 30 different brands, and I got 2 responses. One of them said, "Hey, sorry, we're not dealing with it." The other one said, "Hey, go ahead and send me your site and some samples of your work." So we literally have a hot lead sending 30 leads, but now we're going to send 1,000 leads. So hopefully we get some more responses. Let's go over to the campaigns and show you guys how we set it up. So essentially all make.com will do for this specific scenario is just input the leads into a running campaign. So I have master e-bike campaign here, and we're going to take a look at the sequences, and you're going to see it's pretty simple. So for this specific sequence, I'm just going to link the company name, X Relay Media collaboration proposal, and send the cold email. And then we're going to do the same, leave empty to use previous step subject, and then cold follow-up email number 2. And when we inputted the leads, I named it cold email 1 and cold email follow-up 2. So it's just pulling the ChatGPT message. And as you can see, every single one of them is a little different. I recently came across your company and was truly impressed by your commitment. I've done that for all of the emails. Okay? And I've done that for all of the cold emails for the second email as well. So again, going back to the sequences, step 1, we have the original email, and I'm just using the variable of cold email 1 and variable of cold email 2. I created that in the leads part. I just added a couple options for that. So moving back in to our setup here, we're going to go into Instantly, and I'm just going to go ahead and link those. And again, you're going to have to do the same that you did with ChatGPT and Google Sheets. You're going to have to connect it via API. The Instantly API will only work with the API version 1. It did not work for version 2 for me, so you might need to upgrade your account to Pro to be able to do this, but I think it's probably worth it. Just having access to ChatGPT and really the customization of ChatGPT. So we're going to go into the lead email, and we're going to go down, and we're going to pull the email address. Okay, perfect. That's the email address. The first name is going to be here. The last name is going to be here. The company name is going to be here. And then the phone number, we might not have the phone number, so that's fine. I don't need it right now. The website is probably important just to have it. Website's going to be here. And then the custom variables, which we're going to just make sure that those are correct. So custom variable, let's just go find the first one, which is going to be this one. And then the custom variable here is going to be this one. And we're going to save that. So let's just double check before we run this, because I didn't set up I didn't set it up to where it could only run one to test it. I'm just pretty confident it should work, which it usually doesn't, but let's just hope that it works this time. I think the only thing that we might have to do is increase the completion tokens. So this might need to be, let's pop this up to 1,000, because we are going to be pretty much scraping 1,000 leads, or we could even do 2,000. Let's just do 2,000 here. Yeah, it's not going to be a lot of money, but you are going to have to pay back end on this. Okay, because this thing can really go. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here goes nothing. We're going to go ahead and run it. Oh. Non-existing model 2. Let me see. That's why there's usually issues. Oh, okay, that's why. He was previously messaged that. That is why it was not working, okay? That, and we want to put in the other first name. That's why it didn't work. Save. Okay. Okay, that's another important thing, guys, is that for the agent for this one, rather than saying what I did earlier, we're saying, hey, like, we're pretty much replying to this other email, and we actually, what we did is we took the information from that previous email. We added another assistant, and we said, here was the previous message to this person. This is, did not reply to. Okay, I'm sorry. Here was the previous message that this person did not reply to. Here's the choices. Here's the message content, which we linked with the original output of ChatGPT. So now we should be set. So now should go ahead and run it. It's going to pull all that data, boom, and then go through ChatGPT. And it should just start adding them one at a time, okay? So as you can see, ChatGPT is running, and it's pretty much going to do this for all of the leads. And if I go over to Instantly, as this just keeps running and creating these emails, these leads should start updating. So I know from earlier we had 30 leads. Let's just check again. As you can see, the progress is going down because the total leads went from 15 to 19 already. They're just starting to get inputted. Leads, 15 leads. It's already moving up. So now it already went from 15 to 20 to 21. Okay. And that's because these people are just getting pushed into here. Okay. So guys, that pretty much sums up today's video. It's still going to run in the background, and I'm going to let it run for a while. It's essentially taking the emails, creating custom emails, popping it into Instantly, and just letting the campaign run on private. I could probably go do whatever I wanted for the next really like 3 or 4 hours. And this is just going to constantly create emails to add to my queue in Instantly and continue to outreach to clients. So if you guys want me to help you with any of your services, if you want this sequence, go ahead and email me down below, or go to my website and submit a form. I'm happy to help you guys automate your business. Again, my name is Judson. I got a lot of experience doing this kind of stuff, and look forward to growing and creating more sequences for you guys to help you guys scale your businesses. If you guys enjoyed the channel, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. And as always, guys, peace out.